A huge revelation has emerged that Trump was reportedly talked out of delivering a televised address on the Iran ceasefire. Were Trump's aides not fully confident that the truce would last for long ahead of the upcoming talks, prompting them to resist any public messaging? Was Trump ultimately forced to avoid a TV speech in order to keep attention away from U.S. losses in the war against Iran? These are the inside details behind what may be Trump's biggest U-turn yet, especially after his earlier threat of the end of civilization. The White House reportedly considered delivering a televised address on the Iran ceasefire, but later chose not to go ahead with the plan, according to emerging accounts of internal deliberations. Trump's aides and advisors privately opposed overselling the still-nascent agreement, reports say, reflecting concerns within his team that the ceasefire remained too fragile to be presented as a major breakthrough. Reuters made this revelation on April 10th, citing 3 U.S. officials familiar with the matter, thereby adding weight and credibility to reports of hesitation inside the administration. The decision can be viewed as a balancing act by the Trump administration after staggering war losses, as it sought to avoid appearing either too triumphant or too exposed politically. Trump was talked out of making the speech, sources told Reuters, although the White House denied the account and pushed back against the suggestion of internal resistance. Instead, Trump ultimately chose to announce the truce through a post on Truth Social rather than through a formal speech, signaling a more controlled and less risky communication strategy. Before announcing the ceasefire, Trump had issued threats about wiping out whole civilization, making his later peace messaging appear sharply at odds with his earlier rhetoric. Reuters also cited a senior White House official while reporting on Trump's potential televised address, further underscoring the seriousness of the internal debate over how to present the ceasefire. The White House official said, and I quote, "There was chatter about it, but obviously it didn't come to fruition, and we didn't alert the networks or anything. It didn't get that far." Unquote. The sudden U-turn from the U.S. president came even as some of the key truce conditions remain unmet, raising doubts about how stable or effective the ceasefire really is. The United States is accusing Iran of failing to honor the agreement by continuing to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed, a move that has deepened tensions despite the truce announcement. Similarly, Iran has been accusing Israel of violating the truce as Israeli forces continue fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon, further complicating an already fragile regional situation. Notably, U.S. and Iranian delegations are scheduled to hold crucial talks in Islamabad on April 11th, with hopes that the high-stakes meeting could help prevent further escalation. However, many experts remain doubtful that the negotiations will produce a proper settlement of the conflict, given the number of unresolved disputes and mutual accusations still in play. Meanwhile, Trump appears increasingly frustrated over the continued closure of the Strait of Hormuz, an issue with major strategic and economic consequences for the wider region. The U.S. president openly vented that frustration while speaking to reporters about the Iran truce on April 10th, offering a glimpse into the mounting pressure surrounding the ceasefire process.
We're not going to let them hold the strait, are you? It's international.
No, we're not going to let that. It's international water. If they're doing that, nobody knows if they're doing that, but if they're doing that, we're not going to let that happen.
What would a good deal look like for you?
No nuclear weapon, number one. You know, I think it's already been regime change, but we never had that as a criteria. No nuclear weapon. That's 99% of it.
Strait of Hormuz as well?
Yeah, but that'll open up automatically. The answer is yes, but the strait will open up. If we just left, the strait's going to, otherwise they make no money. So the strait's going to open. But what we have is no nuclear weapon, but we'll open the strait anyway. Don't forget, we don't use the strait. Other countries use the strait. So we do have other countries coming up, and they'll help out, but we don't use it. It won't be easy. It won't be, I would say this, we will have that open fairly soon.
What's your backup plan?
Excuse?
What's your backup plan if there's no deal open?
You don't need a backup plan. We have, the military is defeated. Their military is gone. They have, we've degraded just about everything. They have very few missiles. They have very little manufacturing capability. We've hit them hard. Our military is amazing, the job they've done.
Sorry, is this a one-and-done talk, or are you open to more talks after this, depending on
I don't know. I can't tell you. I have to see what happens tomorrow. They've been talking for 47 years with other presidents, and we're not doing much talking. Thank you very much. Thank you.